Welcome to Unity with Pam, with your host, Pam Willis-Hovey.
Hello, I am here today to interview retired Sergeant Major Jerry Bonds. Is it okay if I ask you a few questions?
Yes, you can.
Question number 1. Do you consider yourself a dog whisperer? If so, what is the number one message a dog might have?
I consider myself as a dog whisperer to a degree. For the most part, we do a lot of the same things, and that's problem solving, obedience, and behavior modification in animals. Probably the number one question or the number one thing a dog probably would have for his owner is to love me, spend time with me.
Question number 2. If I needed help with training a dog, what are some key factors I need to look for in training?
One of the biggest and most important things that you want to look for, like you would be looking for anything else, is to make sure that the person that you're going to be using, assisting you in training your dog, that they have experience. Dog training is something that could be pretty technical, so you want to make sure the person they are one, qualified, and two, have experience in training dogs.
Question number 3. When you are approached by a strange dog, what are some safety tips?
Okay, one of the biggest things that we try to get people to do is first, always be proactive. Don't approach a strange dog if you happen to see them running loose. If there's a dog that the owner have on the leash, you want to make sure that you talk to the owner before you approach the dog or you attempt to pet the dog. One of the most important things is that if a dog does approach you, is not to run from the dog.
Final question. What breed of dog do you like working with and why?
Okay. I like working with all breed of dogs. Every breed of dog have different personalities. And I don't select a particular breed of dog per se. Any dog that have behavior issues, any dog that have problems, that's the dog that I like. You know, that's the dog that need the work. However, I am a little bit more leaning toward the shepherd dog. They're just a little bit easier to train, to work with.
Thank you. And after this, there will be another scholar interviewing another person.
Unity with Pam is being brought to you by these great sponsors.
Come into Chester's Barbecue for our world-famous mouth-watering ribs, smoked fresh on our grill daily. Or try one of our barbecue pork plates with fresh sides. Chester's has delicious sandwich combos to choose from that are sure to please. We also serve tempting home-cooked favorites. And don't forget to take home your own bottle of great sauce. Chester's Barbecue, serving the best food at the best price. 3 locations to serve you.
Is it possible to have a love-love relationship with your cable company? What if they were a different kind of cable company, starting with not asking you to sign a contract? What if they actually listened to what you need, instead of trying to sell you something you don't? And let's say they backed up their service with a money-back guarantee. Just to be crazy, let's say this cable company was made up of happy people who treated you like an actual human being. We're WOW, and we'd like to change the way you feel about cable companies.
Welcome back to Unity with Pam. My name is Kayliana. Today I'm going to be interviewing Derek Kincaid. How are you doing?
Doing well, thanks for having me.
What made you become a meteorologist?
Well, when I was a little kid, I was probably 4 or 5 years old, and I saw somebody do the weather on TV, and I thought it was one of the coolest things in the world to be able to help people plan out their day, talk about severe weather, track storms, and also be able to talk about science, which is something that I really am passionate about and I enjoy. So it was a great way for me to combine both of those things. So I've always wanted to do it ever since I was a very young age and saw a guy that I look up to very much do it on TV.
What kind of advice would you give to someone who wants to be a meteorologist?
I would say for anybody that wants to be a meteorologist on TV, they need to have, number one, a huge passion for the weather and also a passion for people, talking to people, interacting with people. A large part of what I do is going out to schools and talking about severe weather safety with kids, but you've got to have that mix of your science knowledge and the ability to communicate it to people at home, because sometimes the weather can be a complicated thing, and you want to make sure that when you get on television to talk about it, that you're doing it in a way where everybody can understand. So I would say that anybody that wants to do it, have a passion for it, be excited about it, be intense about the weather, and wanting to help people and keep folks safe.
Do you get scared in front of the camera?
I don't anymore, but of course, when you first start off doing something like this, whether it's being on TV or talking in front of a bunch of people, you are going to be nervous, you're going to be scared, but the more that you do it, the better at it that you get and the less nervous that you're going to be. Just like probably with anything, if you keep practicing it, you keep doing something over and over again, you're going to be a lot better at it. But I still do get kind of a little bit of butterflies in the stomach when there's a big severe weather event that we're talking about, or if it's a big presentation or a big event that we haven't done before, from interviewing somebody famous or something like that. There's still a little bit of nervousness or butterflies that you get.
What type of education and training is needed to become a meteorologist?
Well, to do what I do, you have to have a lot of science training as far as the weather goes, and you also have to have a lot of communications training, being able to talk about it on TV. So I went through school just like most kids do, and I went to college at Mississippi State University, and that's where I majored in geosciences, earth sciences, and I concentrated in meteorology and telling the weather on TV. So it's a lot of science and weather classes, and it's a lot of TV classes and learning about how cameras work and how to put news stories together and writing different things for television. And you combine those two things and you get TV weather.
How long have you been a meteorologist?
Well, coming up in September of this year, I will have been a meteorologist for 10 years. So I'm approaching my decade anniversary of doing the weather on TV.
What is the hardest part about forecasting?
I would say the hardest part is when we have a really big weather event coming, whether it's a snowstorm or severe weather or hurricane, and being able to really communicate the impacts of that to the audience at home that is already going to be a little bit sometimes anxious or scared or nervous about this big weather event that we're going to have. So being able to calmly communicate exactly what we're going to expect. And what can be a very difficult forecast sometimes when we look at different computer models that tell us about the weather that may not agree with one another. We want to make sure that we're able to clearly define for people at home what is going to happen and what they can expect.
What do you like most about your job?
It's something different every day. I'm always getting to talk about different kinds of weather. I'm always getting to talk to different groups about the weather. And I'm not just stuck in an office doing the same old thing. So always getting to talk about new things.
Thank you for letting me interview you.
No problem. Thank you for having me.
Now we will have another scholar interview a different person.
Is your weight preventing you from leading a happy, healthy life? West Georgia Health in LaGrange is the only accredited center for weight loss surgery in the region to offer all 3 surgical options, and your procedure may be covered by insurance. To learn more about your weight loss surgery options, visit wghealth.org. West Georgia Health, so healthy together.
For more than 60 years, the Dairy Queen recipe for success has been simple. It's been a combination of hardworking people, great tasting food, and tempting treats served in our establishments every day. Although a lot has changed in 60 years, some things remain the same. The smiles on children's faces, a treat for a good report card, close friends enjoying a great meal, and families spending quality time together. Here at DQ, we are always committed to treat you right.
Welcome you to be a part of our ministry. This is not a put on, but this is a come on. And we come to share in our different ministries with our dance team, with our choir, and our TV ministry. And we looking for great things to happen, great miracles to happen within this great thing to happen, great miracles to happen within this place. come and be a part of the blessing plan.
Hi, I am Adrian Brown. Welcome back with Unity with Pam. Is it all right if I ask you? Well, let me introduce you. This is Alfonso Whitaker. Is it all right if I ask you a few questions?
Certainly, Adrian.
Why did you become a lawyer?
Well, I grew up in the 70s, 60s, and 70s, and I saw a lot of the inequities that were occurring, and it spurred me to want to fight for justice.
When did you become a lawyer?
Well, I graduated from law school in 1982, and I've been practicing law ever since then.
Who inspired you to become a lawyer?
I think it was my parents. They were active in the civil rights movement. They always talked to us about justice, being fair, treating people fairly. And I think that inspired me. I felt maybe if I was in the legal field, I could make a difference in somebody's life.
What kind of cases have you handled?
Well, you name it, I've handled it. I don't do bankruptcies and I don't do divorces, but I've handled quite a few criminal cases. I serve as a public defender in state court and do contracts, probate, wills, and things of that nature.
How long did you attend school to become a lawyer?
Well, altogether it took me 7 years. 4 years of undergraduate school where I got a BS degree and 3 years of law school.
Was it difficult in school when you took classes to be a lawyer? If so, how did you overcome your difficulties?
Yes, it was difficult. In law school, teachers use what's called a Socratic method. They just ask you questions. Never tell you the answer, just continually ask you questions. So you got to read a lot. One of the most important things is being able to articulate. So English is very important for someone who want to go to law school, so they will be able to write and explain themselves thoroughly.
What was the hardest thing you had to learn in law school, and how did you overcome it?
Well, the hardest thing I had to learn was I couldn't watch all the football I wanted to watch during the season because I had to spend the time in the library. The only thing you can do is apply yourself diligently and work hard. The professors are available to assist you, and you got to take advantage of that. Whenever you can get help, you want to try to do that.
Are there any other lawyers in your family?
Yes, I have an identical twin brother. His name is Alonzo, and he is the deputy district attorney here in Columbus, Georgia. I have a cousin who is a professor of law school in North Carolina. So there are a couple of other lawyers in my family.
What advice would you give someone who wants to become a lawyer?
Well, the most important thing is to keep your grades up. Law school is very competitive, which means there may only be 50 slots in this law school class, and you may have 2,000 people applying for those 50 slots. So they're going to take the cream of the crop. You want to keep your grades up. You want to be involved in civic activity. And you want to not have a criminal record.
As a public defender, do you choose your clients or are they assigned to you?
No, they are appointed to you. And as a lawyer, you have an oath that you have to take to represent everyone zealously. You may not like who you're representing, and you may not like what they have done. But if you undertake their case, you got to give them the best defense.
Thank you so much for coming to interview me today.
Thank you. It was a pleasure.
After this commercial, we will have another scholar interview a different person.
Unity with Pam is being brought to you by these great sponsors.
Come into Chester's Barbecue for our world-famous mouth-watering ribs, smoked fresh on our grill daily. Or try one of our barbecue pork plates with fresh sides. Chester's has delicious sandwich combos to choose from that are sure to please. We also serve tempting home-cooked favorites. And don't forget to take home your own bottle of great sauce. Chester's Barbecue. serving the best food at the best price with 3 locations to serve you.
Is it possible to have a love-love relationship with your cable company? What if they were a different kind of cable company, starting with not asking you to sign a contract? What if they actually listened to what you need, instead of trying to sell you something you don't? And let's say they backed up their service with a money-back guarantee. Just to be crazy, let's say this cable company was made up of happy people who treated you like an actual human being. We're WOW, and we'd like to change the way you feel about cable companies.
Thank you and welcome back to Unity with Pam. I am Kyle Jackson, and today I will be interviewing Mr. Sam Tondo.
That's right.
Thank you for coming. Is it okay if I ask you a few questions?
Sure.
Mr. Tondo, who inspired you to become an entrepreneur?
That's a good word. Entrepreneur means a businessman, right?
Yes, sir.
And actually, when I did my MBA, I was so excited. I got my degree. I went and applied for a job. The next day, I was interviewed. The first job I applied for, I got a call that you're hired. I went back and told my parents. I was excited about it. Wow, I got a job. But my dad had other plans. He said, I have something more bigger for you in life. You should be a businessman and be setting up a factory. So that's what I said, wow, that's even bigger. So I was excited about it. That's how I got into the business, and I love it now.
Did you get your BA and MBA from the same college?
Yes, from a university called Sydenham College in Mumbai, India. That is around 30 years back. And that time MBA was not a very common thing, so people used to ask me, what do you do? I had to explain it to them. They knew what CPA was, what attorney was, but an engineer was, but MBA was a little bit less known. So it was.
You have traveled a lot, I hear. What continents have you been to?
I have been to Africa, I've been to Europe, I've been to North America, and that's Canada, and I think Asia as, of course.
What advice would you give a young entrepreneur given today's economy?
I would say think out of the box. That's the best way. You know, you can make anything and make anything successful. Don't have to limit yourselves to some just general ideas, what people tell you. You know what Facebook is?
Yeah.
It's just a chat thing. But the person who made it is now a billionaire. So there is no limit to ideas and no limit to as to how much you can earn.
Where did you grow up?
I grew up in Mumbai, India. And that's fascinating. I had a very nice childhood. I had lots of friends. We were 2 brothers. So we had a very good family and had lots of friends.
Did you how did you first start being a businessman?
As I told you, my dad was the one who actually initiated me into the business. And after that, I got hooked onto it. I helped my younger brother after he came out of college to set up a new business. That was my second business. And after that, my third business was for having an IT company. I ran it successfully. I had it for 10 years each. And after that, I grew up into loving it and wanted to give back to the community. So now I mentor young kids and other college and high school kids for doing a business, or if they want to become a business entrepreneur, as to how to go about it step by step.
What is your favorite hobby?
My favorite hobby is actually giving back to the community and making other younger kids and younger entrepreneurs more successful. So I would say that is a passion that I have. And if you're looking at sports, I would say golf is my favorite sport.
Have you ever thought of making a smaller business when you were younger?
I did, but it never occurred to me that one day I'll be a factory owner. Like my dad had already plans for me. So I was lucky.
Well, thank you for coming to meet me again.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, and we will have another scholar be here soon.
Unity with Pam is being brought to you by these great sponsors.
Is your weight preventing you from leading a happy, healthy life? West Georgia Health in LaGrange is the only accredited center for weight loss surgery in the region to offer all 3 surgical options, and your procedure may be covered by insurance. To learn more about your weight loss surgery options, visit wghealth.org. West Georgia Health. So healthy together.
For more than 60 years, the Dairy Queen recipe for success has been simple. It's been a combination of hardworking people, great tasting food, and tempting treats served in our establishments every day. Although a lot has changed in 60 years, some things remain the same. The smiles on children's faces, a treat for a good report card, close friends enjoying a great meal, and families spending quality time together. Here at DQ, we are always committed to treat you right.
Welcome you to be a part of our ministry. This is not a put on, but this is a come on. And we come to share in our different ministries with our dance team, with our choir, and our TV ministry. And we're looking for great things to happen, great miracles to happen within this great thing to happen, great miracles to happen within this place. Come and be a part of the blessing plan.
Welcome back to Unity with Pam. My name is Miles, and I am interviewing Reverend James Calvin Harris. How are you today?
Fine, and you?
Good. How long have you been preaching?
Well, all my life, I've been preaching ever since I remember about 5 years old as a kid in the country. So even before I was born a preacher. So at this time, 79 years I've been preaching.
Where were you born?
Lees County, Georgia, 12 miles from Leesburg, Georgia, in Lee County, Georgia.
Where did you go to school at?
Lee County, Georgia, Leesburg High School, Albany State College, and American Baptist Theological Seminary in Nashville, Tennessee.
How long have you been pastor of Mount Pilgrim Baptist Church?
Next month, 4th Sunday in April, 63 years.
See, what are some other things you like to do other than preaching?
Well, I write sermons. I've written over 1,000 sermons, published CDs and DVDs, and of course, I love swimming. I was in the Navy in World War II.
What things are you working on now?
Well, I'm working on the last project I called for a man 89 years old on this coming 7th day of April. And I'm working on a book. And the book is entitled, What God Can Do with Nothing.
What is it about?
What God can do with nothing. He's the creator. It's about the creation. He can take nothing and make whatever he wants, create whatever he wants out of it. So he took us. We was dust. And dust considered has no value. And no man knows how much dust it takes to make a man.
Do you think you have reached your goal?
Oh, no, well, this is my last prayerful project. And it's supposed to be coming off the market sometime in June, this book. But I've written other books. I write sermons. I've written over 1,000 sermons. I have a catalog of sermons. Preachers preach my sermons all over this nation. I have a booth in the state, local Congress, National Baptist Convention. I've been honored with the 50-year pastoral reward by convention, state, local, and citywide.
Thank you for coming.
It's been a blessing to be here and to have such a fine young man. And I hope you will stay with God as I did all these years. And it's a brighter day for you on up the road.
Yes, sir, I will. And thank you for watching Unity with Pam. We'll be back with another student interviewing another person.
Is your weight preventing you from leading a happy, healthy life? West Georgia Health in LaGrange is the only accredited center for weight loss surgery in the region to offer all 3 surgical options, and your procedure may be covered by insurance. To learn more about your weight loss surgery options, visit wghealth.org. West Georgia Health, so healthy together.
Is it possible to have a love-love relationship with your cable company? What if they were a different kind of cable company, starting with not asking you to sign a contract? What if they actually listened to what you need, instead of trying to sell you something you don't? And let's say they backed up their service with a money-back guarantee. Just to be crazy, let's say this cable company was made up of happy people who treated you like an actual human being. We're WOW, and we'd like to change the way you feel about cable companies.
Come into Chester's Barbecue for our world-famous mouth-watering ribs, smoked fresh on our grill daily. Or try one of our barbecue pork plates with fresh sides. Chester's has delicious sandwich combos to choose from that are sure to please. We also serve tempting home-cooked favorites. And don't forget to take home your own bottle of great sauce. Chester's Barbecue, serving the best food at the best price, with 3 locations to serve you.
Thank you for watching Unity with Pam. If you would like to be a sponsor, please contact us or visit unitywithpam.org. Production for Unity with Pam is provided by At Motion Media Incorporated.